Hey guys, how are you doing? It's Catherine, and I am super excited to be making this video today because we have a whole huge feature that we've just added to Tangent templates, and I can't wait to show it to you because this is one of my favorites. I think it is so cool what it does. You guys loved the infographics that we added about 2 weeks ago, and now this just is like the cherry on top. It's just a great feature throughout Tangent templates. So without further ado, let's take a look at this. Here we are on this page, and what you can see in front of you are some very neatly aligned black squares. And whoa, if you look at it for too long, you start seeing little grey circles in between them. Optical illusion. So what I'm going to do is open up the group color changer that we added with the infographics, and I'm going to choose a color scheme. So let's go with the Amethyst Mist. That one's so hard to say. Amethyst Mist. And I'm going to click Random, which is going to create some random colors from this color scheme. You can shift those to find the colors that you like. So there we go. That's a fun collection of random colors. And I'm going to click Update. Now, this is the really cool part. So I'm going to select all these squares that we just colored, and that will take us to the Style tab. And I'm going to scroll down a little bit, and you will see there's a new feature here called Convert to Sketch. There is a little note there that it's experimental. It works fine. It's a great feature. It's really, really cool. But just if you're going to put in like a 300-page document with your life's work in this, maybe make sure you have a backup before you try this because it is still in beta. And if you do find any issues, if it doesn't work quite the way you think it should, send us an email at support@tangent.rocks and Isaac or I will take care of it. So, are you ready to see what this does? Deep breath because it's really exciting. What I'm going to do is click through these options. So I'm just going to say random for now, to style, and random to angle. And I'm going to talk through what these do exactly in a moment. But just to show you how it works, we're going to do this random. I'm so excited. It's such an exciting feature. And I'm going to hit create. Are you ready? Deep breath. Look at that! How cool is this? All those boxes have now been converted to this sketchy, doodly, hand-drawn look. And what you can see here is that there's a whole bunch of different styles that we've included in this. Actually, there's a lot more to this. You have a lot of options with this. It's a very, very flexible and awesome feature. And I think you're going to have a lot of fun using it because you can apply this to all of the infographics, all of the shapes in Tangent templates. You can also apply it to your images that you create with Tangent Crystal. So if you're in our Imagine group and you have access to Tangent Crystal, which is our exclusive software for making your coloring book pictures look awesome and for vectorizing those, it also works really, really well on black and white clip art. So if you have Imagine with Tangent Crystal, you can also use these features on your crystallized images and they look really, really cool. You can also use this feature with our templates. So we have well over 100 templates in Tangent templates, and you can apply this styling to all of them. And of course, you can apply it to your own templates that you've created in the designer tool as well. So this is a huge feature. You can do so much with it. And I'm going to show you some examples, show you how it works. And what I'm also going to do is give you guys a TT file, like a demo file with some examples that you can play around with and really get the feel of how this works and what you can do with it. But this is very modern, very cool. I'm seeing this sketchy style pop up here and there with professionally published books and online as well. You can create printables with this. So if you're selling on Etsy or Teachers Pay Teachers, you can create some really amazing printables with this and be absolutely ahead of the game. Because, hey, I think we're the first tool that has a feature that looks like this, that you can do this with and make some books for KDP so easily with this. So we're going to look at this in a lot more detail in just a moment. Before I do that, I had a couple of housekeeping things I wanted to do. First, I just wanted to give a shout out to my Gumroad. I created a new book about a week ago called Understanding and Using Lead Magnets. And you can find this on my Gumroad at catherine.gumroad.com. It's completely free. Just put 0. It says 10 there, but you can put 0 if you want. If you would like to give me $10, that's very kind of you. Thank you. Or whatever you think is a fair price. But it is free. You can put 0 in here. And people are saying it's really, really helpful. The reviews have been great. Look at this. Amazing. Thank you. What a fantastic guide. I'm learning about marketing. Very useful, top-notch information, jam-packed guide. So this is free. It's on my Gumroad. It's called Understanding and Using Lead Magnets. And it is just a PDF guide that if you've been wondering about marketing, if you felt stuck with your marketing, if you're not sure how to sell your books or not sure what to do with your books, because books can be lead magnets, this talks about all of it in detail. It's very simple. I've used simple flowcharts to explain things, and it also has some great lists. It has a list of 40 types of lead magnet, and it also has a humongous list of niched lead magnets that is both the lead magnet and an upsell. So if you are stuck for a business idea, you're just kind of flailing around, this will help you out. It's got 150 ideas, which are basically business ideas. It's like lead magnet and what it can be used to sell. So I hope you enjoy this book. Quick plug for that. It's free, again, on my Gumroad, and I'll put the link at the bottom. Another quick thing I just wanted to shout out. I wanted to say thank you to Melody Seeley, who shared this great testimonial this week. She said, "I've made more money using Midjourney and Imagine this month, making both colouring books and journal covers, than I have in a long time. It is easy and I can set things to run while I'm working." Thank you so much for sharing that, Melody. I am super happy for your colouring books and your journals. And I just wanted to share this because often people are saying like, oh, is there still money in colouring books? Is there any point in making a colouring book? Yes, there is. Because here's how I teach colouring books. I say to create colouring books for niches, to find new trending things or obscure things or rare hobbies or interesting hobbies that people haven't really thought about much, and to use those to create your colouring books. If you have the only colouring book or the best colouring book in your niche, then there's no reason why you won't get sales for that. So thank you, Melody, for sharing that. That's really cool of you to share that with the group. Let's go back to tangent templates and look at this new feature in some more detail. So what I'm going to do is give you guys a TT file, and I'm going to put that on Gumroad and include the link underneath this video. And this TT file will have some examples for you, and it will also be a bit of a cheat sheet that I've included examples of all the different styles. And TT file is very easy to use. You're just going to import it here. So what you do is just go to TT file above here, and then you click import, and then you select the file that you downloaded from Gumroad, and I'm going to put the link under the video, and you just import that file. It will go into your saved projects, and then you can open it up and explore it, and you can change it around and do what you want with it. And if you mess it up, that's fine. You can just re-import it again. So it's yours to import and explore, play with, read through, and really get the feeling of how to use this sketch effect. So these examples here, these boxes demonstrate the different styles that you can create with this. So for most of them, I've used a diagonal angle. So this is the feature here. You can choose the style. So you can see here I've put sketch, crosshatch, zigzag, steps, dots, dashed. These are the styles. Oh, and warp. That's an interesting one. And there's also the angle. So you can say diagonal, horizontal, vertical, and so on. Dots, you can't change the angle because they're dots, and the same with warp. So let's take a quick look through these. So this is sketch diagonal. You can see it just makes kind of sketchy lines going diagonally. Crosshatch is when you have lines going in both directions. So this is the crosshatch diagonal, and this is the crosshatch vertical. So you can see it's a slightly different style. Then there's zigzag, which is kind of nice and scribbly. Really fun for journals, for planners, if you're going for that look. Steps is what it sounds like. It has steps going down. Dots, And here's the thing, you can alter the thickness on this. So if you make the dots really big and chunky, you can do that. You can have really big dots, or you can make the thickness really low to make the dots small and compact. We've got dashes, and then warp is an interesting one. It just changes the shape slightly. It changes the edges of the shape. So you can see this square has become kind of warped. And this is a really fun effect to layer with some of the other ones. So you can layer this underneath and then put maybe a sketch effect over the top. Now you can create some really cool effects with this. And then here's sketch horizontal and crosshatch vertical. So all of the examples here are 1.5 thickness for both the border and the interior. So you can see when you look at the tab here that you have the ability to control the thickness, and the thickness is the interior. So this is just the stroke thickness inside the square. And then you also have the option to turn the outline on or off. Now, these all have an outline. This will override whatever the border settings were on the boxes before you change them. You can control the outline thickness as well. So again, this page shows you 1.5 thickness. I'm going to go across and show you another example here that has a 0.5 thickness for the fill. If we go back to these, this is 1.5 thickness. So the strokes are thicker and the white space, there's more white space in there. When you make that thickness smaller, so we bring it down to 0.5, you can see that the strokes are thinner and also there's a lot less white space. So it has quite a different effect. I can zoom in there so you can see it a little bit better. So this is really fun for coloring in boxes and shapes, and you can also use it to shade vector images. So if you've created vector images in Tangent Crystal, which I highly recommend, there's so much you can do with Tangent Crystal. It's included in our Imagine bundle. But if you've created vectors with Tangent Crystal, you can use this to shade them, and I'm going to show you that in just a moment. So in the TT file, I'm going to give you these squares so you can play with them yourself. And again, the way I changed the colors, I just selected them all and did group color changer. And then I selected this amethyst mist and randomized the colors. This also works really, really well with infographics. You can see here a couple of examples I did with the pie chart. So these had a big thickness and were randomized. I think that's a 2.0 thickness. And then these ones, again, had that 0.5 thickness. And you can see that these look a lot more tightly colored in. And again, those are randomized. So I'm going to choose an infographic. What's a good one? Let's use this star. That'll be a fun one to play with. So I'm going to make this a bit bigger so you can see it. And let's pick a color scheme for this. Oh, I like the urban graffiti. That's kind of neat. There we go. So I'm just clicking shift, and what that's doing is just cycling through the color scheme here. Okay, so there's our star. And again, we're going to scroll down to convert to sketch. For example, if we want to just use the sketch effect, you can choose an angle. I'm going to say diagonal, and I'm going to set the thickness. Let's see, we'll make it fairly chunky to start with. For the outline, I'm going to make the outline a little bigger too. So we're going to go for, actually, we'll do 3.5 for the outline as well. And what I recommend doing is experimenting with this, finding what styles you like. And when you've found things that you like, you can just click Make Template, and that will save the page for you so you can use it again in any of your projects. And you can also save the image that you create, and I'll show you how to do that in just a moment. So let's say Create. And there we go. That is using the sketch effect 3.5, so it's very chunky. That's a really nice effect that we got on that star. So let's see what happens if we make the thickness a little smaller. So I'm going to keep it with the sketch effect. We'll go diagonal again, but this time we're going to bring the thickness down. I'm going to make it 0.5. I'm going to leave the outline thickness as it is. So the outline thickness is these black lines here. And of course you can change the colors. You can even set them white as well. If you set the outline thickness to be white, it gets quite a different effect. In fact, let's do that. Let's use it with a white outline. So I'm going to turn this off so it doesn't add a black border to these shapes. Now I'm going to hit Create, and let's see what it does with this. Wow, how gorgeous is that? So a big difference when we just make the thickness 0.5. So all I did, I turned the outline off, I made this 0.5 thickness, and now it has this really lovely shaded effect. And you can do that with all of our infographics. So this is now a really nice image that you can use in your projects anywhere you like. And let me show you something. If you want to save this to use again, you can actually save this as an image that you can use again and again in Tangent templates. And the way that works is you just go to Save as New Image. It's on the Style tab here. So you got your colors, and then you have Save as New Image above Convert Sketch. So you can save that, takes a moment, and now you should be able to find that in your uploads in the TT generated folder. So there it is. You have that image. And now you can bring that into any of your projects and use it again and again. Now let's look at an example with a pie chart. Let's do this one with 5 segments. And again, group color changer. Let's pick, Northern Lights. That's a fun one. And I'm going to update that. So if you want the whole pie chart to have one style, that's what we just did with the star. We made it all sketches. But you can also make each segment random. So if you select random and you select random on the angle, you can actually go ahead and say create, and you can see that it actually picks a random design for each segment of the pie chart. So that's a really fun way to get a scribbly pie chart with different styles in it. And you can see I did the same thing with these pie charts here. And you know something? I love using pie charts for funny things. The joke I saw recently, you can do what I do when I work from home. And then you can have fun adding your own labels to this. So you can be like, petting my cat. And you can make this a little smaller. Looking for snacks. And so on. And then at some point you might want to put working. But that's kind of the joke, that you only spend a little bit of your time actually working. And something else fun you can do with this is take it apart. So the group feature is very important in Tangent templates. So we've actually added it to the Style tab as well. It was always on the Arrange tab, but we've added it to Style as well, so you can get it from anywhere. And what you can do is ungroup the infographics. So you can actually take the pie chart segments out of the pie. So I'm using the arrow keys to do that, but you can also just drag and drop them around. So this is a really fun thing you can do with pie charts. If you want to highlight a particular segment, you can just pull it out like that. You can also, of course, change the color. You'll find that the theme, every time you use a theme, it adds it to your palettes that you can select from here. So you can change the colors there as well. So you have a lot of power over this. And actually, one other thing you can do, you can ungroup these one step more. So if I say ungroup this, watch this. It actually separates the outline and the interior of the pie chart as well. So you can really explore this and get different effects with this. And you can break up all the infographics into different sections. So for example, if you have the infographic with the little people here, you can actually ungroup that by clicking ungroup. And you can take these parts of the infographic out. You can also color them separately. So you could color the head one color, the body a different color. So we've given you a lot of flexibility with both the infographics and the sketch feature here. So I want to show you something else that you can do with this. And I'm just going to hop over to Midjourney. So I've been making these simple clip art style images in Midjourney. And then what I do with these images is I've been bringing them into Tangent Crystal, where I can save these as vectorized images. And they look awesome. So I can bring these into Tangent templates. I can upload those images that I just made there. So I'm going to bring in those 2 crystallized images that I just made. They'll put them in a new bundle. And there we go. Here's this apple. And if you want to get rid of the white space on this image, here's a quick cheat to do this. You can just go ungroup. And what that will do, it might actually break up the image into separate components. which is great. Some images will ungroup perfectly. This one just happens to be a really nice image that works really well. Again, created it with Tangent Crystal and brought that into Tangent templates. But you can regroup it again like that, and now it's lost all the white space. So that's a great hack for just getting rid of white space on an image that you've crystallized. But you can ungroup it and color different parts of the apple separately. So we could do that. We can color in that part and color in the leaf. So I do recommend getting used to grouping things so you can move them around like that, and also ungrouping them so you can work on the separate parts of the image. So if we go back to our sketch feature here, we can choose style sketch, angle diagonal, and I'm going to bring the thickness down to 0.5 because we want to get a really nice sketchy pencil effect. And I'm going to remove the outline and I'm going to say create. And look at that. That's a really beautiful sketchy apple. And again, you can turn this into an image that you can use in your project, so you can save that as an image. Now let's try this example again with an outline. So I'm going to choose my apple again. There it is. In fact, let's ungroup it so we can get a really fun effect with this. And I'm going to color in the leaf. Let's make it green. And I'm going to make the apple red. There we go. And now what I'm going to do is select this. And I'm going to say style. Let's do something different with this. So I'm going to do crosshatch. Let's make the crosshatch nice and big. So we're going to do 5 points. And I'm going to make the outline a little more thick. Let's go 4 with the outline. And I'm going to hit create. And look at that. It looks like it's been colored in. So I can select that. We can make it bigger, smaller, put it on a worksheet. Like, this is so good if you're doing Teachers Pay Teachers, because you can create all kinds of worksheets that look like they've been colored in. So again, the 0.5, that's the stroke we used with this. That gives you a very neat sketch effect. If you do something a little bit more solid, so I did the 3 point with this and did the cross hatching, you can see it's a bit more of a messy effect. And you can really experiment with this. So I've given you a couple of pages of these apples so you can really see the different effects you can get with this. Let me zoom in a bit. So to zoom in, I go to Project, Artboard, and just zoom the artboard in a bit more. So I've put these examples in the TT file, and I've given you the strokes that I used to create these. So this is Sketch 1.5. You can see it's really nice, neat sketched effect. Then the steps, I actually made 10 points. So I got this really wide effect. And then I got crazy, zigzag. I did 50-point stroke, so it looks like it was done in markers, really messily. So you can also choose whether you want to use an outline or not. So I've given you some apples so you can play with those and see what effect you get with those. And here are a few more vectors that I've created using Crystal and Midjourney. You can see these were all pulled in. There's the car, the house. These were all created in Midjourney. And then I crystallized them and brought those into Tangent templates. So I'm going to give you some images to play with here, like this flower, the witch, the car, all of those. And I've got a few examples that I did with these. So for example, this is cross-hatching, 2.5 with no outline. And I like it because it kind of looks like they were made in ballpoint pen. Like, you know, when you're a kid and you're just scribbling and drawing with like biros on your schoolwork, you can get that effect with this. So something I think is really fun that you can do with this style is you can actually put a box. Let's see, if I make this box, I'm going to turn my margins off. I'm going to go to Arrange, and I'm going to make my box the full width of the paper. So this is on the Arrange tab. You've got Resize. You can resize your box, make it the full size. And I'm going to put it to there. Send my box to the back. Fill space. Going to choose my lines and dots. I'm going to make those grey. Like that. And now I'm going to fill my space with, let's do wide rule. So now it looks like an exercise book. And I'm just going to make sure those lines are at the back. So the way I do that is just go to the Arrange tab, send to back. And check it out. It looks like an exercise book that someone's sort of drawn some biro pictures in. So I love using this with the lined paper effect. So here's an example with the pie chart, and you can see I put graph paper behind it. And we've also put a new font in for you in Tangent Templates that works really, really well with this style. So you can see everything looks kind of hand-drawn, hand-created. And this font, if we just scroll up here, you can go to the Type tab, and you can see this font is called Gloria Hallelujah. And we've just put that at the bottom for you in the font box, or you can search for it here. You can just look up Gloria Hallelujah. And that's this really cool doodly font that goes so well with this styling. Now, if you'd like to use lined paper in your book and you're doing a sketchy style book, you can do this. This is really cool. If you click on the rocket ship, you can choose college, wide ruled, or journal paper. I'm going to pick journal. And what you can do is select all of that lined paper, and that takes you back to Convert to Sketch, again, at the bottom of the Style tab. Now, the only thing that matters with lines is the line thickness. So there isn't really different effects you can apply to lines. So all that matters is the line thickness. So we're going to make this, let's say 1.75 and hit Create. And you can see that this makes really nice, sketchy, hand-drawn looking lines for you. So you can do all kinds of things with this effect. Like you can add a background to this as well, of course. So to add a background, just select it, choose back, and you can choose any color you like. And you can add an image to these as well. So I mean, if I go to my uploads, we have those generated images that we created earlier. You can put your apple on there. You can put it in the corner. You can see I made some colored graph paper here, and I can show you how you do that. You just create a new page, and then you draw boxes. So here's my box. Put it across here. I go to fill space, and I can choose a color for my lines. Let's see, I'm going to have that. Let's do a nice bright pink. There we go. I've got my lines and dots there. And I'm going to go back to fill the space, and I'm going to choose graph paper. We'll do 4x4. So now I can select all that graph paper, and again, it's all about the line thickness. It's just whether you want it to be thick or really thick, or whether you want thinner lines, and you just do create. And look, it makes really nice sketchy graph paper for you. So I have a couple of examples here, and I'll put these in the TT file. There's line thickness 0.5. And then there's line thickness 2.0. And you can see it creates quite a different effect. So depending on what you're going for in your books, you can play with this. And this is so awesome because if you're making like books for teenagers, low content books, then you can create this sketchy effect. It looks way less stuffy than very precise computer created images. And I think it's very much the way the market's going. I'm seeing a lot of professionally designed products in stores that are really going for this sort of hand-drawn, sketchy effect. And I think people are really enjoying this at the moment. So you can use your shapes as well. And I'm going to pick a shape. Let's get the heart there. So we can make the heart big on the page. And if we choose a nice pastel color, like let's say pink, we can go ahead and make this sketchy. Actually, I'm just going to do a 1 point thickness. And I'm going to turn off the outline and create that. So now you can use this in the background of your page. And of course, if you're just doing black and white books, you can make it grayscale. So fun fact about Tangent Templates, this is actually the lightest grey that KDP recommends that will show up for sure in a KDP book. So we recommend using this grey in our base colours if you want a light grey colour. So even if you're making monochrome books, black and white books, you can use a grey colour to fill this in. And then, of course, you can go ahead and put your lines over the top. And again, to create lines, just use a box and go to your fill space. Oh, we don't want red lines. We want black lines or grey lines. You can use dark grey. And I'm going to go fill space and choose wide ruled. So you can create all kinds of effects with this very, very quickly and very easily. I've been using this effect for all kinds of other things. You can make speech bubbles with this, so really fun with the comic book paper. And from the infographics, I created random effects with those, so you can see how those look. And literally the way I created this is just by selecting all the people on the page and saying random and random, create. Now, some images, it will give you a warning and say this selection may be too complex to process. And it does do this on coloring book images if they're very big, if there's a lot of elements going on in those. If you see this warning, what I recommend you do is cancel and save as a TT file. So just say export and it will save your project as a TT file. It only takes a second to do and now you have a backup. So if you see that warning and you want to go ahead, then just be aware. Oh, I got to say random. Let's do random and random again. And this may take a little bit longer because it's a lot of images. There we go. That wasn't too bad. And of course, as I say, you can upload your own images. I make them in Midjourney all the time. If you want to learn more about that, please check out my Imagine course, imagine.tangent.rocks. I talk about how to make clip art in there, and I talk about how to make coloring pages. So you can also use the sketchy effect with coloring pages as well. But I love to use it with these filled images. I think they look great. So it's also fun that you can use this on some of our other templates. So for example, there's these which are available on my Gumroad free. This has habit trackers. It has a whole bunch of different pages in here. And you can see they have very neat, clean style and design. But when I put these through the sketch filter, this is what they look like. It gives them a whole new lease of life. And I kind of love it. You can put dot grid, you can put graph paper, you can put line paper, and it really adds this fun styling to it. I'm going to put these pages in the TT file so you can explore those for yourself. It looks great with story paper. You see, I had a filled box and I just set that to sketch and it looks great. And you can see I had these boxes with lines. And then you add this effect to them, the cross-hatching. That's how they look. So you can do this with all of your journals, make them look however you want, change the color schemes. Look at this infographic. How fun is that? This is applying the random styling to this infographic here. Really cool. You have so many options with this. Like imagine you can use these Venn diagrams, these circle diagrams, all of them. You can make them sketch. Let's do the little people. So we're going to put the little people down here at the bottom. And I'm going to use the group color changer. I think we were using 4 colors. There we go. I'm going to shift through those to choose a combination that I like. I'm just hitting that shift button there. Yeah, I like that one. I'm going to update. And I'm going to choose random. And we'll make the angle random. And I'm going to keep the thickness at 1.5. We'll keep an outline on that. So let's make the outline a tiny bit thicker and we'll hit create. There you go. So it just adds to this. So you could have a whole page of images that look like this. And then the really fun thing is, remember we looked at ungroup? You can ungroup this. You can separate these little people out. You can put them all over the place. So it has just really fun features. So I think Tangent Templates is such a unique tool. There really isn't anything that works like this. Very creative, it's very flexible, and we're working on just adding as much as we can to this that makes it awesome. Everything that you want to create, we want to help you create. So please do keep suggestions coming. support@tangent.rocks. Isaac and I read everything. We do our best to look at what we can do to make Tangent Templates awesome for you. One last thing I want to show you. This works so well with even our basic templates. So if I add a page here, I'm going to go to templates. Let's see, let's choose a template that would be fun. There we go. We'll do the Grimoire spell paper. So for all the witches among you, I'm going to show you how you can make this look nice and sketchy and fun. So when you choose a template, it drops the whole thing onto the page like that. So you can ungroup this if you want to edit anything. So again, I just selected it all and then I clicked ungroup at the top. I don't actually want to edit anything, so I'm going to group it back up again. So now when I click it, it's all selected. So I'm going back over to my Style tab, see, Style tab, and Convert to Sketch. And I'm going to choose Sketch, Diagonal, and I'm going to make the thickness 0.5 because I want these to have a really tight, sketchy effect. And I'm going to keep the line thickness at 1.5. So I'm going to hit Create. And look at that. How cool is this that it has made the images nice and sketchy? It's made the boxes. The only thing I don't like is the font. So I'm going to show you a trick with this. If you select a text box and then go to Arrange, you can actually go down here and do Select All Text. And now what you can do is just go to the Type tab. And oh, there's that font. It's already selected actually because we were looking at it before. But we can go Gloria Hallelujah and click that. And indeed, Gloria Hallelujah. Look at that. We now have a really fun, sketchy looking spell book. So you can really enjoy bringing some new life to the templates and creating anything you like with this effect. I think it's such an awesome, powerful tool. Really excited about it. You can use the rocket ship to just choose anything you want here and make it look sketchy. I mean, the comic books look great. The vision boards look great. If we do it with the comic book and make the thickness 3, you can create that. It looks awesome. I think that's a really fun design. You can, of course, ungroup things, edit them. Oh, I had an outline on that, so it's actually put a border around it, which I really like the effect. So I think this makes everything look great. And then you can put whatever pictures you want in here or leave it blank so that people can draw in it. But I think this is awesome for sketchbooks. This will give you some power to create some really new designs for KDP, for Teachers Pay Teachers, Etsy, whatever you are creating with. That's it. That is the new feature that we've added to Tangent Templates. You can see that it is huge. It really brings new life to everything. The infographics, the shapes, even images that you've created yourself. And watch this space because I will be talking more about Tangent Crystal soon. There's a lot you can do with Tangent Crystal, especially if you're using AI art, especially when you combine it with this effect in Tangent Templates. But I would love to hear what you think about this. I would really love your feedback. Do grab the TT file. I will clean this up and put this on Gumroad for you so you can grab it for free and play with it and explore it yourself and then use it on all your own projects. So thank you for watching. If you have enjoyed this video, if you love Tangent Templates, please remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, all of those things so you don't miss our videos. And also, please do come and join us in our KDP group and also in our ChatGPT Midjourney AI group on Facebook. We would love to welcome you in there. And do check out Imagine at imagine.tangent.rocks. We have just updated Imagine for version 6.1 of Midjourney and the new editor tool that they have added to Midjourney. Have a great week, guys. Bye.